everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of What's Next with Danny Coleman
and Maryann Castello.
And we're coming to you right here from the City of Angels Addiction and Recovery Program in beautiful Hightstown, New Jersey.
Yes,
There's much rejoicing. That's right. What's Next is brought to you by Recovery Spot, New York, as well as Neo-Zoe Health and Wellness Center of Cranford, New Jersey. Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street in Red Bank, New Jersey. And
we do this every week.
Flying Dreams.
Flying Dreams.
Our international touring advisor and resident music director, Rich Shalanda's project, Flying Dreams.
And Long Branch Cable.
Well, that's right, Long Branch Cable. We want to say hello to all of you who are watching us at home, and thank you very much for tuning in and supporting What's Next. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, that we do.
If you are at all interested in appearing on this program or sending us a topic that you'd like to see us cover or try, please email us at whatsnextcoa@gmail.com. That's whatsnextcoa@gmail.com. Now, those of you who did respond to my t-shirt challenge, which let me explain to you about that a little bit. The t-shirt challenge, if you want to send me a crazy t-shirt, please keep it clean. Extra large.
We'll supply the hose.
Correct. Extra large t-shirt. If you're a business or you just find something comical or funny, this one,
Get a Room.
Get a Room, came to me from an anonymous viewer in Harvard de Grace, Maryland. Sent us the t-shirt, and there you go.
I love it.
And I said I will wear it on the air.
Now, did you call them?
And I can't believe that I've had this t-shirt on and you have yet to zing me in any way, shape, or form.
I'm controlling myself. Well, have you called there to get a room?
No.
Why?
I have
Valentine's Day is coming up, you know. Valentine's Day is coming up. And for those of you who follow Rock On Radio with Danny Coleman, George's mother needs a date for Valentine's Day.
No, she never said that.
Well, I think she did when she sent you a hunk of burning man. I mean, who does that?
Well,
he's got a secret admirer. He really does.
Apparently it's no longer a secret either.
No. Well, we don't know who she is. We just know her as George's mother.
George's mother. Now, the way I figured is George's mother either sounds that way and could be like some supermodel.
Yes.
Or she sounds that way and she's like 4'8" with a beard.
Possible.
What do you think?
I think she's gorgeous. That's what I think.
Ah, well, do you now?
I really do.
I think they're all up to something here, if you want to know the truth. But
the scary part is we're not. And the scary part is I want to meet her.
I have seen you lie to me with a straight face before, Ms.
Me?
Wow. Never. So if you want to find out more about George and his mother, tune in to Rock On Radio Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the City of Angels Network, coaradio.com. And
you can listen to that from anywhere, and you could get a room.
Get a room.
At Van Dyver Inn.
There you go. Oh, boy. But I want to thank this viewer. Thank her very much. For it is a woman.
Oh, it is a woman. Okay, we didn't know that.
That sent us this, so I want to
thank you very much.
Anonymous female.
Maybe she wants you to get a room.
Maybe. What do you think?
Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. You look at me like, I guess I'm supposed to be the person behind the scenes to set this up for you? Is that what this is? He doesn't want me to do that. Trust me. That's all you have to do.
We have engineer Art here tonight. We have Rich Shalanda here this evening. Our guests tonight are musician Jack Furlong and Sean Goff, as well as the owner of Liberty Tavern and her bar manager / bartender. We have Jody Stevens along with Austin Dickey. So stick around, stay tuned, and you'll find out.
What's next?
There you go. We'll be right back.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand-name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Our first guest tonight here on What's Next with Danny Coleman and Maryann Castello is Jack Furlong, and he brought along Sean Goff. Yo! There you go. Now, what was that song you just played? What was the name of that?
That was a medley, actually, of two original tunes.
Okay.
The first tune was a ballad entitled April, and the second tune was a Latin tune called For Steve.
For Steve. Yes. A Latin tune. Like
yes.
Bossa Nova type?
Yeah, a little bit of a bossa to it, yeah.
So I like that. Is that your favorite type of jazz thing? Bossa Nova?
I really could go either way on anything. I mean, it's not so much about the style as it is just about if it's music that speaks to me, you know.
A good friend of mine is a jazz piano player. Mm-hmm. His name is Rio Clemente. Oh. And you know Rio? Yeah, familiar with Rio? Mm-hmm. Rio said to me one time, he says, Danny, you know why I like playing jazz? I like playing jazz. And he sounds just like that. I like playing jazz because I can take it as far as my mind will let me. Mm-hmm. And that's why he does
God's honest truth.
And I mean, that's it really is, mm-hmm. So baritone sax.
Yep.
What else?
All different saxophones.
Okay. Ever delve into other woodwinds, clarinets?
I can play flute and clarinet as well. So especially if I have to do a lot of like doubling or tripling, if I'm doing a musical, something like that, sitting in the pit. There's a lot of books there. I'll see. Okay, bari sax, bass clarinet, maybe flute as well. So it's all standard operating procedure to me.
God bless you. I haven't had the sight read in like 30 years. I don't miss it one bit.
I didn't think you would.
Jack Furlong, Jack and I met when I was doing a radio show on a different station, and Jack had a sports talk show. Love of sports, love of music. That was me growing up.
Yep.
Have you ever had to choose between the two?
Actually, yes.
Oh.
When I was leaving high school and going to college, I knew that I wanted to pursue both in some capacity. I ended up going to Lafayette College because at the time I actually had not put a single thought into their music program per se. It was more about the baseball that I was playing. And I thought that school would give me the best chance to play Division I baseball as close to home as I needed it to be. So I
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Hopewell.
Okay.
I live in Pennington now. So I walk onto the team. I make the team. So now I'm playing Division I college baseball, and my coach is in like his second or third year, and he had been like the third base coach at, I think, Navy. This guy was military like you would not believe. And ultimately, what it came down to was he was going to make me choose between my major, which ended up being music, and my sport. And I thought to myself, well, listen, I love baseball, and I'd love to play pro baseball. There's nothing I would love more than that. But the odds of playing pro baseball versus having some sort of stable job in music, slightly off. So I said, I can't, in all good faith, say I'm going to give up the academics that we're paying $40,000 a year for to take a shot at baseball.
All right. Now, there's something I found a little interesting about that statement you just made. The fact that, and our international touring advisor, music director, will probably chime in on this one. The fact that he said finding a, was it well-paying job?
Stable career.
Stable job in music?
I was thinking this.
I know. Yeah.
See my shirt?
Yeah.
Rich Shalanda, did I miss something in that? What's his secret? We're gonna have to shut him down.
Did I say stable job? I really meant waiting tables.
Now, do you?
I'm 34. I live with my mother. Okay, I'm telling you right now. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, that's
Hi, Mom.
so. Do you teach as well, or?
I actually was a college professor for a number of years.
Okay.
I ended up giving that up in late 2013 when my girlfriend was in a car accident.
Oh.
And she suffered a traumatic brain injury, and ultimately I had to, for lack of a better term, commit career suicide to take care of her for 3 years when she was out of work.
Oh, God.
So thankfully she's getting a lot better, and probably, you know, she's in that 90% better range right now. There's still a lot of stuff that we have to work on, but, you know, she's back to work. She lives on her own again. So we've made tons of strides, and
Oh, that's fantastic.
you know, so now I'm in the process of rebuilding my life, whatever that's going to take.
Right.
You know.
Which you put on hold.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we? Well, tell us about your band. Now you have it's Jack Furlong Quartet.
That's probably the main entity that we're known most for.
Okay, of which Sean is a part of.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, what are the other?
We also have a bass player and a drummer.
Okay.
On bass, we normally have John McElroy, and on drums, John O'Keefe.
Okay.
And we probably get the most work as that entity, more than likely. I mean, when necessary, we play as a duo as well. You know, there's a lot more gigs out there for ambiance as the duo than there is for the quartet. Like we'll go to a lot. Like
That's you?
yeah, remember? Yeah, you couldn't see us. You know.
Ambiance?
Yeah, that's yeah.
No, because let me tell you why. I do a column every Thursday.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, you may or may not see
Of
it.
course,
We are
yeah.
Facebook friends. Every Thursday, my column runs on New Jersey Stage and New Jersey Arts. And every now and then, I have to list, when I'm doing my restaurant and bar
Mm-hmm.
and venue listings, I'll see Ambiance, the duo. I'm like,
Oh, that's yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, our duo is, you can't pronounce the name of our duo with the human tongue, actually. So,
Oh, all right. So you're not Ambiance.
No, we're not. No.
I went through all that for that.
I thought he was kidding.
No,
I
I'm
thought there was
serious.
going to be a payoff to that story.
I thought that was you.
No. I'll tell you what, it is now. Okay?
We have a new name for our duo.
Exactly, yeah.
You okay over there?
Trademark.
I'm choked up. I thought I stroked Peter. I'm like, finally, I figured out who these people are. You know, because I'm pretty in tune with the music scene. And
CSI, you are not.
Ambiance the duo. Wow, they're sitting right here.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have taken.
We really should have, yeah.
I quit. Okay, so where were we in that line of question? All right, so you've got because I do see that you play at the 1867
Yep.
Sanctuary, which is this incredibly. I mean, it's an incredible room. I love this.
Oh my God, it's a fantastic.
It's a
room.
church. It's a church that's been at this spot in Ewing Township, New Jersey, for.
Since 1867.
Well, that one, yeah,
Yeah.
that incarnation, but the church itself
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
God.
it's
That's
hundreds of years.
yeah.
has been several hundred years. There's
Yeah.
been a church on that spot, and the gravestones back there
Yep.
are just. It's in front of a graveyard, like most churches are. And
That's how we get all the people to come to the gigs. We get all the corpses to sit in the pews, and
It's our prime demographic.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
they're dead, so they're single.
Oh, he's getting
I'm
idea.
thinking,
I know you
I
are.
can see the wheels turning. Like
smell the smoke
there's a
burning.
hamster wheel in there. Just that hamster's so buff from all the work that he's doing.
hey, that's another story.
I don't think you want to go there.
No, yeah,
This is what's next after dark.
yeah, it is correct. So, all right. So I know that you guys. Do you have trouble now? The only other jazz musician that I'm familiar with is Dick Gratt,
Okay.
and I've known Mr. Gratt now. Notice I carefully chose my wording for a long time. There she goes. And it's not easy to get jazz gigs.
No, it's not. there's a lot of patience involved. There's a lot of trial and error involved. There's a lot of miscommunication involved. You know, what some people would just assume to be jazz is not what jazz really is. I mean, jazz in itself is an ambiguous term, but from the standpoint of just getting gigs and whatnot, it means different things to different people. And from the business side of things, you really have to do a little bit of your research beforehand in order to strike when you know the iron's hot with that particular gig or that particular demographic. I'm always coming up with different ways to try and find work in some way, shape, or form. Like recently, one thing I did was I got a map of New Jersey that had the outlines of all the counties in them. And I said, all right, I'm going to find one steady gig in each county, whatever that means, whether that's once per year, once per month, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I'm ever so slowly checking off like maybe 5 counties so far. You know, but it's gotten a little something going.
Now, I remember years ago when I was a young drummer and had hair.
Remember those days?
And it wasn't gray. There was a place in Belmead up on Route 206. It was called the County Line Inn. Because it was on County Line Road.
Right.
Which is the road that leads, it's not 206, it was the Great Road. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Elm Road, the Great Road. And then it became County Line Road, the further up you went. And this was one of those places where it was a restaurant. But it was, I don't want to say it was an upscale restaurant, but it was a classy restaurant. And the majority of the patrons, you know, I was 18, 19 years old, the majority of the patrons were, at that time, in their 60s.
Right.
You know, so to me, they were ancient as an 18 or 19-year-old kid.
And now?
I'm ancient. so
You set her up.
Great.
I don't have to. She looked.
That's not even a double down the line. That is straight over the right center field wall.
That's a
Correct. And so what happened was, you know, we got there, and I was in a band that played predominantly oldies, 50s and 60s music, and I'm thinking, are we going to go over here? You know, so the first set they wanted us to be quiet, so I think we played like Moon Dance 7 times. But
That's like 6 times too many.
and you know, you get and I think when I hear like the originals that you guys did tonight, you know, as a musician, there are certain bars that you play where you're the entertainment. There are certain bars that you play or venues that you play where you're just background noise.
Right.
You know, do you find that happens often?
Yes.
With the, but that's okay
That's
because you're
completely
still
okay.
getting paid either way. But
Exactly.
you know, you're there for ambiance.
Exactly. I was waiting for him to bring that around.
The duo.
The duo.
I brought that right up.
That's full circle right here. But you're absolutely right. You know, music, from a professional standpoint, is like any other trade in that there are so many different aspects in it. So you have to be open to some of the different ones that might come your way. Now that doesn't mean you have to compromise who you are. That doesn't mean that you have to do anything that you're not comfortable with. But you know, for example, when I was a college professor, I was like thinking, there's no way this is going to be for me. I'm you know, no matter how old I am, I still think like I'm 12. You know, I laugh at bathroom humor all the time. There's no way I'm getting fired. I'm totally getting fired. and they're going to have signs up of my picture and say, "Don't let this guy in." Okay.
Don't hire this band.
But the more I continued to work in that atmosphere, the more I realized, you know, I have to take on a certain level of apprenticeship in order to keep this trade going. But not, you know, because it always kind of confused me from the standpoint of when we teach people, you know, different tactics and whatnot in their field, it's almost like we're saying, I'm giving you the tools to eventually put me out of work. That's how much of a pessimistic way I look at it sometimes. That's the comedian in me. We're always looking at the world like it's, you know, it's against us. But when you look at it that way from that educational standpoint, that allowed me to see it as these kids, especially at the college level, are helping me advance my own career too. I would be able to bring in pieces that I've arranged or written for like a traditional big band of 20 instruments and put it in front of these kids, and they would play it, and then I'd be able to hear what I wrote and whatnot, and so they're learning just as much as I'm learning, and we're all gaining from the same experience.
And that's the thing with the background music too. Like they're not telling you what to play.
Right.
That's not a bad gig.
It's really not.
You get to
Yeah.
play music for a few hours,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and you get paid for it.
You know, and it's funny because you think, nobody's paying attention to us, you know, and so now at this point you're trying to think of a jazz version of like, you know, Inagata Davida that you can play out there, or, you know.
But that's another thing. People do pay attention.
But there's always going to be that one guy in the back or that one woman. What was that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was terrible.
Oh, well.
You know, so
Oh my God!
Go ahead,
Good
go ahead.
story. All right, so this was probably about, I'd say, 10 years ago or so, and I don't know how we got this gig, but
it's a lot of good stories. Starting out that way.
we got a gig at John and Peter's of all places.
Oh boy.
Like somehow, somewhere, they were deciding to try and do jazz on Sunday nights. It was not a program that lasted very long.
Yeah, that didn't last very
long. Okay. And the pay was non-existent. Like they were saying, like, yeah, we'll pass the hat around and people will put money in it, and that's what you'll make and whatnot. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is going to end terribly. But for me, it was, you know, it was down just, you know. Driving distance for me was minimal, and it was a Sunday night, and it was John and Peter's, you know. So you're kind of like, out of respect, I'm not going to just say no, please, no. So we're playing John and Peter's, and we were playing a tune called "Cold Duck Time." What's that? Eddie Harris? An Eddie Harris tune? It's kind of like a funk rock tune, whatnot. And all of a sudden, and there's like next to nobody in there listening to us, maybe like 2 people. All of a sudden, like these 6 really drunk adults, probably in their mid to late 30s,
Was
come
it
in.
summertime?
I don't think so. I think it was like
October or something.
Yeah, it was like fall. Yeah. They come in. They've been doing like this bar crawl, and they just get up on the stage with us and start dancing while we're playing. And they're doing it was the weirdest thing. And this one, like the hottest chick out of all of them, I think it was like 3 guys, 3 girls, and 2 of the girls were dead ugly, but not that matters. Not that that matters. But it's gonna matter when you hear the next part of this. It's gonna matter when you hear the next part of this story. So the hottest one out of all of them reaches over to the floor tom of the drummer and grabs a mallet that he has. And she starts just smacking her own butt with it, like to the beat. And another guy just leans over right at us and goes, "Is this the hottest thing you've ever seen this close to your drums before?" And we're just like, so anyway, so we end the tune, they're clapping, they start walking off, and they're thinking the next tune's going to be something similar to that. Well, I don't know where I got the idea, but I called Bye Bye Blackbird, which is an old standard, probably most famously done by Miles Davis.
Right.
And he starts playing the intro from Miles'
It's
Cut.
like this.
Yeah. And I swear to God, we heard it was one of those things where you heard it loudly, but it almost sounded like an echo. One of the guys yelled, "What the F is that?" like what in the world is? So we just, you just get these stories sometimes, and you're just like,
the life of a musician. I mean, yeah, there is just.
We have so many stories.
You could write a book. You literally could write a book.
When I was in grad school for a class on music technology, the final project was to write and compose your own 20th century music piece using various different computer programs. So I actually wrote a song about all the inside jokes that we had within our group, and I recorded it all over this weird funkadelic thing that I found on a keyboard and whatnot, and it lasted 10 minutes, and it was the most ridiculous thing anyone had ever. It makes no sense to anyone who doesn't understand the jokes, and yet you're still going to find yourself just cracking up at it. I think the best line, it ended with, "This album will be in stores never."
Should have even said never.
Never, just stop.
This album
That's
will
it.
be in stores. Well, do you have websites, Jack? How do you find you?
Yes, jackfurlong.com is the best way to find me.
And Sean, do you do anything
I don't have
Apart from Jack, or are you
I don't
just?
have a website. I play plenty, but I don't have a website.
Are you
so-
indebted to him forever?
Of course.
Well, there's that. Yes.
I mean, that's just
So what do you have coming up for gigs?
Well, I'm trying to think of when this airs versus when we're taping. So if we will, as of this past weekend, we played in Flemington.
Thanks for giving that away,
Yes.
by the way. Every time it's a live show.
Yes. You can edit that out, right?
No.
No?
That's okay, go ahead.
Flemington DIY. We just played also up in Hackettstown at a restaurant called Mama's Cafe Bocce. We appear regularly at. We'll be this week. Will be
the 15th.
The 15th, yeah. I can't. Calendars and me don't. They're just diagrams of dates, but I'm still like. We'll be at the Pine Tavern in Old Bridge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We'll soon, within the next couple of months, we'll be at the Hopewell Bistro and Inn in Hopewell. We appear probably
Sanctuary.
the sanctuary at the 1867 Sanctuary. We're there about twice a year. We'll be there next in June.
Okay.
And
The Hopewell Valley Inn and Bistro, they have a great open mic on Friday night. So if
Yep.
anybody's looking on a Friday night, lives in the Hopewell area, you can.
it's very very well attended. Yep.
I've actually gone to several of them. I was asked to fill in for the house drummer a couple times. And
So you
things.
still play?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I do when I can. So.
As we all kind of do.
Correct.
Exactly.
But all right, Jack. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Danny.
For coming out, Sean.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, same.
Great stuff. Jack Furlong, and your website again?
JackFurlong.com.
Jack Furlong, and it's not the attorney.
That's my father.
Is it?
That's my father.
Oh, okay, because I made that mistake.
We've all made that mistake.
Okay.
My mother made that mistake, and that's why I'm here.
There you go. See? All right.
These lights are warm.
If you die, I might have to call for criminal defense.
He's speechless.
I know the law firm he speaks of. Does he still have that partner?
Oh yeah, Scott.
Oh, okay, there
yeah.
you go. See, coming out of those bars, you need an attorney sometimes.
Oh god.
All right, we'll be back with, speaking of bars, we'll be back with Jody and Austin from the Old Liberty Tavern on What's Next.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
Hey everybody, welcome back to What's Next, and What's Next is Jody Stevens and Austin Dickey, proprietor and bar manager, what do you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Bar
Yeah,
manager.
yeah. It's at the Old Liberty Tavern in Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey, yeah.
We're coming back.
That's right. Coming back.
Coming back.
It is good to finally have you here.
Oh,
I'm very
thanks.
happy about
It's good
this,
to be here.
actually.
It's good to be here, Danny friend.
How long have you been working for,
Since June.
since June?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I have several questions. I'm going to deal with you first there, Miss Jody.
Okay.
Number one, when you and your husband, you guys took a big chance
We did.
when you bought the Old Liberty
We
Tavern.
did.
Now, the Old Liberty Tavern is actually in the neighborhood that I grew up in.
Villa Park? You grew up in Villa
I grew
Park?
up across the street from Villa Park in
Very
Hamilton,
nice.
on the other side of the street.
Another bar.
Imagine that. In the neighborhood where I grew up, if you took a walk out my house and down the end of the block and walked into the middle of the road and straddled the yellow line, I'm half in Trenton, I'm half in Hamilton Township. So,
Well, we bought it for a flip.
okay.
We bought it, it was in really bad shape. And we were in the business of flipping properties. So we bought it and it needed way a lot of work. And actually when Jeff brought me there after he bought it, I really thought, well, flipped. Like, this is crazy. I can't believe you bought a bar.
That was his middle-aged crazy?
That was his middle age. He's still going through the middle
Jeff.
age crazy, but whatever.
All right.
So, while we were working on it, so many interesting things happened. There was a front door and a back door to the place. And it was during the summer, and we had both doors open, and people would come in and say, oh, you bought this place? Oh, I met my wife here. Or I had my first kiss here. Or I used to live above here. You know, there were so many stories about this place. So we did some research on it. It was so interesting, and when we
Now,
fixed it up...
what did you discover with the research?
Well, it was built in 1929.
Right.
And this is a crazy story. So we wanted to put pictures up in the bar of the original building. So I went to the library in Trenton, and I was rummaging through these old pictures of the property while I was there, because it was all over Facebook what we were doing. Somebody reached out to me from Illinois and said, I think you bought my great-grandfather's old building.
Oh, wow.
And so we connected, and it turned out that it was. Her great-grandfather built it. It was it was during Prohibition, so,
Right.
you know, it was a candy shop or whatever it was. I don't know what it was.
Quote,
And so,
unquote.
right. And so she gave us all these old pictures of people there, and it turned out that her great-grandfather lived upstairs, and they had very similar life that we had. They built it. They had 3 boys. The boys would help them in the bar. It was such a connection. So, and then it was all the people in Trenton coming in saying, "Oh, we used to love this place." Oh, you know. So my husband said, "Well, let's just keep it for a year. Let's see what happens." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy.
I don't know in a bar. I don't even know what to do." The only thing I knew about alcohol was I liked to drink. So, okay, fine. So,
Maybe that's why we gravitated towards each other.
I think so. Definitely. So, here it is 6 years later. What am I going to do? I
It's
mean,
been
that's
that
what
long
it's,
already?
yeah.
6 years? Now, when I was a young child, my first recollection of that building was, and perhaps engineer Art can verify this, it was Nubby's.
Yeah.
Remember, it was Nubby's. And then my good buddy, Mike Gerstenicker, everybody called him Gersh. Gersh bought it, and it became Gersh's place, and it was Gersh's place for,
A while. I don't know how
God,
long.
it had
yeah.
to be 20, 30 years, or,
wow.
Yeah.
you know, it was quite a while. And,
We thought, even now we think, like, we should have named it the Old Gershes. Because if you say, oh, we own the Old Liberty Tavern, they're like, where is that? I'm like, the Old Gershes. Oh, yeah.
yeah, well, that's how, you know, and, I mean, I played there, I
Yeah.
drank there, I grew up in, like I said, in that area, in that neighborhood. So, when you guys bought, and you did a great job of remodeling the place.
Thank you. I picked the colors.
You did.
I picked the colors.
The woman's
It's actually,
touch.
Oh, yeah.
it is, it's actually very, you know, before what was a neighborhood shot in a beer joint is now a sophisticated
Aesthetically pleasing.
establishment. Yes, I mean, you know, it is, and Jody has the pictures that she spoke of, and there's some really
Yeah.
nice pictures of Trenton, and it's nice to have both the bathrooms in the same area as opposed to.
We did that. We did not want the ladies' room in the bar or the
Right.
men's room, whatever it was.
It was the men's room.
So he like made like the little hallway down there. It's cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's
and
very-
I painted all the stuff in the. You've probably never been in the women's bathroom, but it's all beautiful and
It's a possibility.
painted. Maybe it was.
I told you,
He's
I'm like
done that.
Vegas. What happens here stays here. Oh, sorry.
We're right.
Remember the time went? No, I won't go there. Just saying.
I don't know. I've done some strange things in that bar.
All right.
But so okay, now enter Austin. So Austin, was it Jody and Jeff's great magnetic personalities that attracted you to them, like cheap metal?
Well,
What brought you to the old Liberty Tavern?
when Hurricane Sandy hit, I was looking for a place to do a benefit to help the victims from them. So one of my friends' moms grew up with Jody, and that was right around the time that Old Liberty opened up.
Okay.
So I went in there and I did my Sandy benefit there, which was
okay.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
And then you just got involved from there. And
Yeah.
and now
Jody
you're working.
for some reason loves me, and I don't know,
Love
but
him.
I'm trying to trying to live up to it.
So what is it like
Take us through a typical night behind the bar at the Old Liberty Tavern. I know what it looks like from my side.
Yeah. I mean,
at least for the first hour.
it's definitely interesting. I mean, as a bartender and like, bar back here, you kind of hear everything that's going on. So, I mean, you definitely get some interesting stories. That library is kind of building up right now. But
Now, I know when I used to tend bar at a local club that I belonged to.
Mhm.
Not much more than shots and beers.
Yeah.
But I know same thing. Sometimes I'll just keep my mouth shut and listen.
oh, absolutely.
And you learn a lot by listening. However, I also know that bartenders, based on my experience and what I've seen as the night wears on, most times, are now psychotherapists.
Yeah.
You wind up everything from, hearing about what the ex-husband did
Oh, absolutely.
or what a witch the ex-wife is to my kids, and you hear the sad stories,
You
the
didn't
happy
see
stories.
me here tonight.
Oh, yeah. There's a bar in Perth Amboy on State Street, I believe. It's called If My Wife Calls, Tell Her I'm Not Here Tavern. I don't know if it's still there, but it was years ago.
That's funny.
So you're kind of like, hell, you hold people's confidence,
Yeah.
yet, so...
But see, there's no law saying that I have to keep what I hear to myself. So, I mean, if people want to tip me another 20, I can tell them what their husband said the night before.
He won't
There you
even
go.
tell you
Yeah.
what I do at the bar.
That's probably a good thing.
I'm going to keep my
I
job.
get in trouble.
He draws a line somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember one night we were in there doing those pretzel shots.
Yeah, I remember
Oh,
chocolate covered pretzel shots.
Chocolate-covered pretzel shots.
What's in a chocolate covered
it's-
pretzel shot?
Sounds good.
I didn't make it, but I remember
Oh.
drinking it. It's
Vanilla vodka.
yeah, but then it's like got this chocolate and salt on the rim,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just the whole sweet and salty thing.
Tastes
It's
just
really
like a
good.
chocolate-covered
Chocolate
pretzel.
My favorite is the green tea shot. That gets me in trouble every time.
Every time.
Every
You know?
time.
See that? Bartender! 7 green tea shots. We'll find out all we need to know about the Old Liberty
What I
Tavern.
just found out about me going there, and I didn't know this until now, is that every time I go there, the bartender gives me double, and I never know. So I'm thinking I had 2 drinks, I had 4, and then I'm ordering shots. Then I need to ride home.
Okay, so just not for anything, but just for future reference, what nights do you go there? If you're buying shots, I might have to show up.
I'm a random customer. I
Random.
just show there. I never know when I'm going to show up. I just show up, and I'm most of the time already
Already
have
there.
been drinking, and I'm like, this is a great idea. Let's go to Old Liberty, of course.
Let's
just go.
course.
Right? I show up.
It's like when John Taffer's wife from Bar Rescue
Right.
shows up, they're like, you gotta behave now.
Now, what goes through your mind when you see Jody come through the door?
I'm honestly,
behavior.
I am so happy for her to come in because she's probably like one of the best people to be in the bar because she's positive and everything else. But
He's right, you know,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah, thanks.
she's
You
always
are.
there
You're
for
always
a
happy
good
to
time.
look.
She,
I'm always there for a good time.
I've never seen her lunge off a bar stool because somebody bumped into her. So, yeah.
Right. I do that at
Well,
other
maybe
bars.
one more green tea shot. Maybe that's what she'll. Maybe that's what'll happen.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. And, when I grew up in that neighborhood, it was a predominantly white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It has changed ethnically into a very mixed
Yeah.
neighborhood now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that there's any kind of does that cause issues? I mean, because there's a jukebox that's got
Yeah, you know
certain
what?
music. There's does it ever get to the point? I mean, everybody. I've been in there
Yeah.
multiple times, and everybody seems to get along well.
Everybody gets along perfectly in there.
and everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
you know?
But everybody loves coming in. They all play what they want to play. And it's just, I get people that play country for 3 hours in a row. And then I'll have somebody play reggae. And then I'll have somebody play, Fleetwood Mac. Like, everybody, it's like a real mixed crowd. But has never gotten in the
But
way
it's
of anything.
everybody gets along very
yeah,
well.
I
At least
have
from the
from
times I've
people
been
from
at.
21 to 65 in there, and everybody gets along perfectly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. We like that.
Makes it for a fun place.
Yeah.
They're all happy drunks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good
Absolutely.
thing.
Key word is drunks.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, I'm not saying. I know it amazes you, Maryann Castello, that I am familiar with many bars and many.
Every show, he
sections
knows
of this
every bar,
state.
every location, what was in business, what's out of business. It's unbelievable.
Doesn't make me a bad person.
That's the
You
right-
should write a book,
that's the right
though.
person
I
to
think
go
you should
see.
write a book.
That's right.
See? I should.
You should have a YouTube show.
You think?
If they had a Jeopardy game, you would be like the highlight of the Jeopardy hour.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
I would get categories. I'd be like Cliff Clavin when that episode of Cheers was on. When he got Final Jeopardy. He's up by like $30,000, and the next closest has like 300. He bets it all, and he doesn't know the final answer.
Wow.
And he came up with 3 people that have never been in my kitchen. It was a question thing. So speaking of which, now what do you have there at the Liberty Tavern? What do you?
Oh man, we have some of the best wings, or I'm not even going to say the some of it. We have the best wings in the area, all kinds of different flavors. Every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays, I have a new food special. Last week was something called the Big Boy Sandwich, which was chicken tenders coated in barbecue sauce and sriracha sauce, bacon, fries, and mozzarella sticks, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life.
You had me a bacon.
Yeah,
I knew
Yeah.
it.
I don't even know how you opened your
Yeah,
mouth to get
it's
it all
so
in.
good.
It's like so big.
yeah.
How many shots does it take for you to have one of those?
I would
I get the
never
beer munchies.
I
and,
would
you know.
never even want to take. I'm sure it was delicious, but
Nah.
She's a healthy person.
except for the alcohol.
Yeah.
No, well, you know what?
Well, that kills germs.
Now
so-
we've been talking recently, Maryann and I decided that I had a doctor's visit and all of my numbers were fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, but somehow I still managed to gain 5 pounds. So I've been hitting the gym at my work. We have a gym, and I go there during the day. Yes, I have a day job. I'm sorry, and I go there. But you have lost a lot of weight.
Yep.
You look great. How did you
you.
do it?
I think the camera adds pounds. So
Yes,
just be
it
careful
does.
with that.
Just so you know, it does. Yes.
I changed my eating habits completely, and I drink a protein shake during the day. I have like 2 snacks, and then for dinner
Okay.
I'll have a healthy dinner. And sometimes, once in a while, and I don't want to say binge because it's not like I'll just like today he was having pizza, and I'm like I need like just a little piece of that, you know.
Okay.
So I'll do that, but for the most part, I just eat healthy, and I have never felt better.
Good for you.
I did not. I gave up alcohol for like 3 months, and I did. And
ran
now
into you.
I
Shaking.
added it a little back in,
Okay.
but just a little. I mean, I don't go crazy with the alcohol either anymore. And it's not only that, but I find now that I can't even drink as much as I used to anyway because I'm thinner, and it just affects me so much more.
So it's economical too.
It's economical too.
you go.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
right.
Well, that's good.
But we
Good
also
for
have the
you.
pool teams too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a pool because you have 2 pool tables, right?
Yeah, we have 2 pool tables, and I have a tournament every Saturday. It's only $5 to play. Everybody's welcome to play.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you have? What are you doing for St. Patrick's Day this year? Anything?
Same thing we did last year.
Okay. Now last year didn't you have like the Eddie Testa band? You had a large band.
That
down there,
was
wasn't
Cinco de Mayo, the
Oh,
Eddie Testa
okay.
band. We had a band. They're not doing the parade. They're not doing the parade. They haven't
Oh,
done it
that's
for
right.
a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
yeah,
just
budget
go
for it.
along and just have a party as if there was a parade.
I kind of like that.
And it was like we make our own parade.
That's beautiful.
It is. Last year was the best year because it wasn't like we had people out at the parade, and every year it's been raining or snow. It was snowing. The first year we
Wow.
had it was snowing. So
I know.
we just have a big party and
I would
pretend
love to get
there's-
like an Irish band in there. I think that would be
yeah,
fun.
we
to
can
get
still
an
work
Irish
it on that.
band
We
in
got to do
there.
that soon.
We could put a kilt on you. And And then we could just fake it somehow. you know,
Fake
give
it?
you some
Fake
give you some bagpipes. I don't know if you could play them, right? See?
There you go.
Like
Perhaps our,
that.
our musical guest, Jack, will show me that after the show.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, the Old Liberty Tavern is located at 2114 Liberty Street in Trenton, New Jersey. And stop in and see Jody and Austin. Austin, I have a feeling, is the man with all the answers.
Yeah, I try.
Tell them that you came in because you saw them on What's Next with Danny Coleman.
All
So,
right. Thanks, Dan.
Jode,
been
Austin,
Thank you very much.
thank you
Appreciate
guys.
it.
We'll see you
Again,
again.
the Old Liberty Tavern, 2114 Liberty Street in Trenton, New Jersey. And thanks, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having
All
us.
right. Thanks for having us.
We'll be back. Coming up next, we have a video from our guests tonight, Art, and we're gonna play that soonly.
Soonly. Great.
I'll make up words. All right, we'll be right back.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, the Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Well, that was some show tonight, huh?
That was incredible.
I don't know what.
There's something about a man and a saxophone.
Whoa, and he had a big one. Big saxophone.
Because size does matter. Is that what you're
Apparently,
saying?
when you play baritone sax, yeah.
I would think so.
You think?
It was phenomenal.
But I don't even.
Just in time for Valentine's Day, a sexy baritone, right?
Oh God. Well, you know what?
What?
They were jazz musicians.
Yeah.
And they actually had a sense of humor.
Yes, they did.
There are a lot of jazz musicians that don't have a sense of humor.
I know, they were great.
They were good.
And I love some of their stories that
They're
they told.
fantastic.
Yes.
They did some good stories. So you can find them at jackfurlong.com. Right, Jack? Oh, Jack has resurfaced. There you go.
I have to pay you for saying all those things about having a big one and all that stuff.
That's it. There you go.
Notice the check goes to me.
Yes. Yeah. There, just take that one.
I can't win. See, I
Get
can't
a
win.
room,
Get a room.
Get a room.
There you go. All right. But we actually, I want to thank Jody and Austin as well for coming in, and the Old Liberty Tavern, 2114 Liberty Street in Trenton, New Jersey. Always a great time. Good people in there, and it is a lot of fun.
And they have pool tables.
I've never not gone to that bar and had a nice time.
Well, that's good.
I'll just
That's
say that.
nice.
So, and they have food too. They get pretty decent food, you know. So it's actually not pretty decent. It's very good, I should say. It's just that it's a bar menu, so there's
Right.
not
It's bar food.
right, but it's very good. So coming up right now, and typical jazz musician fashion, my buddy Jack has you're going to watch the Jack Furlong Quartet promotional video to end What's Next. So we'll see you next week right here on What's Next. Good night.
Good night.
fit together, that would be my lucky day. Oh yeah, come by me, oh come love with me, baby. Yeah, maybe we could run away. Maybe we could run away. Maybe we could run away. Yeah, 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 yeah.